In 2003, I was commissioned by Nottinghamshire County Council to make a bronze tribute sculpture for the coal miners and collieries of the Nottinghamshire coalfields. It was to go at the top of a landscape spoil tip on the site of the former Silverhill colliery near Mansfield, which is also the highest point in the county. Before explaining the processes involved in creating this sculpture, I would like to go back for a moment to an earlier sculpture of a miner that helped me win the job. In 1999, a Forest of Dean free miner, Dave Harvey, modelled for a tribute sculpture for the miners of the area to celebrate the millennium. Typically in this methane-free coalfield, he wears a naked flame carbide lamp on his helmet. In 1999, I was invited to go down free miner Robin Morgan's Phoenix mine near Colway in the Forest of Dean, just before it closed for good. For a few hours I watched coal being cut using methods unchanged since the 1940s or 1950s. The mile-long roadway is 4 to 5 foot high through solid rock. At the far end, the 2 foot thick coal seam rises at a sharp angle up to the right. Robin Morgan moves timbers to make room for the coal cutter to pass. It is hauled down the slope to the roadway below to start a new cut. The jib, rather like a giant chainsaw blade, is then wrapped round the bottom of the coal seam. Here it has already started cutting and pulls itself up, undercutting the coal all the way. Coal falls down as the cutter passes and slides down the slope to the drams below. Freshly fallen coal and the strong rock roof above. Robin and Hedley's jokes taught me feeling claustrophobic, which I certainly would have done otherwise. The drams full of coal are then winched to the surface and tipped out onto the vibrating screens to be sorted into different sizes. It is delivered the same day. As Robin Morgan says, this is coal as fresh as you can get. 4 years later, I started my research for the Silverhill miner at the National Coal Mining Museum at Cap House Colliery near Wakefield. The idea of a miner testing for gas evolved out of a brainstorming session with miners in the lamp room.
And David didn't invent it.
So that was to get it up into the roof when it was quite high?
Up into the roof it was high.
Yeah. The result was a series of drawings and the first small maquettes. But I still wanted to see a modern commercial mine in action. So in August 2003, I went down UK Coal's Dormill Colliery near Coventry, travelling miles underground to the massive 295 metre long coal face, which is over 5 metres thick. The Eickhoff double-ended shearer can cut 14,500 tonnes of coal in a day, making Dormill the most productive mine in Europe.
The roof supports there, you can see the chart there, and that's extended at 5 metres. So you can see it's quite a big lump of kit. Incredible. 32 tonnes in weight.
Back at the surface, I asked Brian Holland, the production manager, to demonstrate testing for gas.
Basically, I'm squeezing the aspirator ball into the lamp so I can get a gas cap.
Get a gas what?
Cap.
Yeah. He showed me this chart with various flame heights and shapes corresponding to different concentrations of methane gas. After this, I got to work straight away on the working maquette with skilled foundry worker Ed Tripler as model.
So if somebody says, what did you do today? I don't tell you.
First came a strong armature to hold the weight of the clay. We worked for over a month, gradually building up the forms, adding clothes and accessories.
Day 16. This hand has to be changed radically. Instead of the gloves in the hand, I'm going to try the bulb used for indirect readings. This is attached to the lamp, so, and squeezed to test for methane gas. Well, the sculpture is finally finished. It's the 5th of March 2004. It probably doesn't look very different from last time, but there are lots of little details that have changed. For example, the helmet has been completely redone. It's much more detailed. The goggles, the earmuffs, the strap to hold the wire. The lamp's more detailed and so on. I worked more on the face. I did a lot more work on the hands actually, to make them stronger. Especially this arm and hand. I mean, this wasn't here before. The hands are much stronger, bigger, and I hope better. I also changed the collar. I noticed this little fold last time Eddie modelled. Made it a bit more casual. One of the big differences is around this area, where I moved the methanometer over. I completely removed the first aid pack, which was there, and this has allowed this line here, to be visible, which it wasn't before. I've also done the drill bit and the ramrod for pushing in the explosive charge, and the scraper. This is the end of the scraper here. I had to have last minute correspondence with Dr. Blakely at the National Coal Mining Museum about how the thing fitted together. He said it was alright.